In the headlines, Presidency replies Governor Akeredolu says no state has approval for automatic weapons. Governor Wike receives delivery of River State aircraft abandoned in Germany, says recovery of legacy beyond mere politics. 23 people dead, 116,084 displaced, 14,000 farmlands destroyed in Benue flood. Away from Nigeria, security forces clash with protesters, over 75 killed as anti-hijab protests intensify in Iran. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. The presidency has refuted claims that some states have been authorized to buy automatic weapons for their security outfits. The Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State had alleged that if the federal government could allow a security outfit in Katsina State to carry arms, nothing should stop him from doing the same for officers of the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Amotekun. However, presidential media aide Garba Shehu on Tuesday said there is no state that has been authorized to procure automatic weapons for their security outfit. He said that the president has repeatedly made it clear that nobody is allowed to illegally carry AK-47 or any other automatic weapons. The statement further said that contrary to the directive, the law enforcement agencies have been given clear directives to deal with any such outlaws, adding that under the existing regulations, only the Office of the National Security Advisor can issue such authorization upon proper clearance by the President and Commander-in-Chief. Now, one of the many efforts put in place to ensure security of lives and property within the FCT and neighboring states is the setting up of Operation Safe G7, a task force comprising security operatives and the local vigilantes from the 6 states and the FCT. Noel Samson was at the camp where the operation was launched.
Operation Safe G7 had commenced operations before the official launch by the FCT police. The commissioner, while launching the task force, said it was important for the catchment area, hence the need for its existence. He also urged the FCT residents not to worry when the drills start, as modalities have been put in place to ensure that there is no collateral damage.
The Minister of FCT and the 6 other state governors contagious to the FCT decided to form this G7 in order to stem the tide of all this kidnapping and banditry. So we are also in ember months, which are still characterized by slight increase in crime and criminality. So we have been proactive in order to get rid of these criminals. That is why we are launching this Operation G7. My message to the community: they should cooperate with the officers and men. They should give us actionable and timely intelligence, and when the operation lasts, they should not panic. We are in charge.
The residents were also advised not to spread fake news, but also verify information before giving it out.
Of course, in the era of social media now, where you see people post what is not things that have happened in the past, and they take them for current happenings, people must disabuse themselves from some of these things. There are clear evident places where you can speak. In the area of the security, this police you tell you what to do as far as the internal security is concerned. And so if there is anything, seek clarification from there. Not that you just post anything. And so I want people to allay their fears that with what is happening now, nobody should take undue advantage to post what is wrong to social media.
Meanwhile, the task force has arrested a terror suspect and rescued a victim at Leda Yebu ward of Kwali Area Council of Abuja. Operation Safe G7 is hoping that the citizens will cooperate with it to enable success in the task of securing the states around the FCT as well as the FCT itself.
The Akwa Ibom State Police Command said it had rescued 5 persons from the den of 2 notorious kidnappers. The kidnappers were said to have hijacked a Powerlink Transit Company bus conveying passengers from Port Harcourt to Uyo, where they robbed and kidnapped 5 of the people. The State Police Public Relations Officer PPRO SP Odiko Magdon said that the kidnappers demanded 20 million naira ransom each from the victims after blindfolding, tying their hands and led them to Ikpe Anang Forest in Etim Epo local government area where they were kept. The PPRO said that a gang responsible for most robberies and car snatching within Uyo metropolis had also been apprehended. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says the recovery and eventual return of the seemingly lost assets of the state Legacy 600 aircraft is a reality and not mere politics. Governor Wike spoke after receiving the Legacy 600 aircraft that touched down at Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagwa, in Ikwere local government area of the state. Governor Wike explained that it took intelligence report for his administration to discover such assets owned by the Rivers State government. According to him, the immediate past administration flew the aircraft to faraway Germany without any record of it made available to his administration. The Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Ekunyi Owaji Ibani, expressed delight that after 10 years, the Rivers State government has successfully recovered the aircraft. The former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Onoeze Okocha, SAN, said that the state governor has proven his determination to defend the interests of the state.
To all of us to know that when we came into power, 2015, nobody got handed over any report or handover note to let us know where assets of the state are. And for us to hear in 2008, 2019, that look, this asset is somewhere. Are you going to sell it? I would say, which asset is that? The Legacy 600. I said, no, it's not possible. We have to send people to go and investigate. And they found out that the asset is there. But all in all, to the glory of God, the plane is back. And Rivers people can see, Nigerians can see. It's not that we are playing politics. All we are saying, look, we never knew. Nobody told us until we got intelligence that we have this asset somewhere. If we had known on time in 2015, obviously the kind of money we spent, we wouldn't have spent that amount of money.
Aircraft is a state asset, and definition of a state asset is an asset that will benefit the state and its people. So if the governor, given commitment on his own part, is able to use the instrumentality of his office and that of the people of the state, the will of the people of the state through the mandate given to him, is quite commendable. For me, as a state asset, it will be part of what will be used in the governance of the state. For whatever reason, the state will also determine how to put the aircraft to use.
This is another indication of the indisputable fact that this governor has really determined to protect the interests of Rivers State to the best of his ability.
And on political matters, intrigue in the 2 major political parties' presidential campaign councils is attracting attention of political pundits ahead of Wednesday's commencement of campaigns. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that commentators believe that resolving political differences is necessary to accommodate conflicting interest. The report.
While the People's Democratic Party (PDP) resolves to move on with the campaign kick-up, with slight modification on the list to fill the vacuum created by the pullout of the camp of the embattled Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike from the council, the All Progressives Congress has postponed inauguration of its presidential campaign council.
No house is ultimately 100% united. And like I said, politics is about
conflict and conflict management. You cannot have 12 people without a Judas. There is no Garden of Eden without a serpent. So you definitely will have those who are going to disagree. We saw that also happening in APC.
It still remains a huge setback for Atiku, but it is also interesting that the Wike group is no longer the same since that pronouncement. Just yesterday, one of the major pillars in the group, Benue State Governor Otom, recanted, so to say, and he said he's now biking Ayu.
The bone of contention in both political parties is the need to maintain relevance and protect personal and group interests in the run-up to the 2023 elections.
There is also the almighty governors. Since 2003, Nigerian governors, both for good and for ill, have managed to become the strongest bloc within the political space. In most cases, for selfish reasons, you cannot do anything without the governors. They usually bring their mighty weight to bear on all issues of governance. And the feelers that we are getting is that the governors do not feel included.
There are bound to be people who will not agree with it. But politics is about game of majority. Minority will have their say, majority will have their way. So you cannot wait until when everybody will be on the same page with it. Even as we go along, there will be those who will say, oh, you didn't come to my hometown to campaign, so you have not done us well. Or, issue of money can also bring about dissension.
While the pundits agree that it is normal in party politics to have dissenting voices, such, they say, must be properly handled to avoid a spiral effect on the overall success of the campaigns. Shapiro Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
As schools resumed in Bauchi State, mixed reactions have trailed the separation of male and female students across public secondary schools in the state. The development came after the Commissioner of Education, Usman Aliyu Tilde, briefed journalists on the outcome of the Executive Council meeting, which recently approved the action to curtail moral decadence in public schools. Adamu Imam has more.
A visit to some schools in the state capital revealed that parents and students were seen moving around to confirm where their children have been moved as they check the names on the list pasted on the school gates. Some of the parents gave divergent opinion about the new policy, saying the timing is wrong considering the economic situation of the country. The Commissioner for Education also said that private schools too have been advised to look into the possibility of separating males from female students.
Grabbing her, almost every part of her body, in front of a blackboard will not happen in the university. You never see those things today. In fact, in the universities today, if you don't dress decently, you are sent out of the campus. Not even doing this. But in the university, they are adults. They know how to do whatever they want to do.
Honestly, as usual, whenever we got changes in government, there are changes in so many things. So if we got changes in this aspect, I think it's not just strange something, it's not just strange thing. So I don't think it's something to be worried about.
No one can go into argument with the government policy, but if there are ways to make it easier for the people, fine.
Or let me say students from mixed school, they seem to perform better than when they are mixed in class. That is why even internationally, even in the United Kingdom, they make a research and they intend to separate them.
Meanwhile, the students also complained that the situation will lead some members to drop out of school.
This policy is ill-timed and is not right for us at the moment, because some of us, they don't have their names on the registered list. So more than 10 schools were brought here. Some parents cannot afford to change our uniforms now. This is not right at all.
We are calling the attention of the Commissioner of Education. Please, he should change this policy, because The change will affect our parents seriously. I think the authority should have a rethink on this matter. In a related development, some students were reportedly staging a protest calling the attention of the authorities to revert to the old course system of secondary school education in the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how tricycles are displacing taxis in Kano. Details of this and more after the break.
Coleman quality, Coleman durable, Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and see, Coleman won't light up your life. Come and see, C-O-L-E-M-A-N. Quality, durable, now come and be the Baba.
Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust Television. Here's a recap of our top stories again. Presidency replies Governor Akeredolu says no state has approval for automatic weapons. Governor Wike receives delivery of River State aircraft abandoned in Germany, says recovery of legacy beyond mere politics. Moving on, at least 23 people have reportedly been killed and 116,084 others displaced by flooding in Benue State. Executive Secretary of the Benue State Emergency Management Agency, Emmanuel Shaw, made this known at a press conference in Makurdi to flag off the distribution of relief materials to victims. He explained that 14 deaths occurred in Guma local government area, 2 in Vandekia local government area, 4 in Katsina Ala local government area, and 3 recorded in Agatu local government area, adding that over 14,000 hectares of farmlands had been lost to the flood, while 411 houses had been submerged. He said that the agency will evacuate displaced people in Agatu who were occupying the highway to a designated camp where relief materials and security will be provided. The recent flood, which affected Patiyi local government area in Kwara State, has claimed 9 lives and destroyed thousands of farmlands and houses. This necessitated the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission to sponsor a bill to criminalize those who refuse to vacate the riverbank across the country. The Hyperdeck, while distributing relief materials worth 50 million naira to victims, urged them to urgently vacate the riverbank for their safety.
Yearly, those living in the riverbanks across Patigi local government area of Kwara State usually experience floods due to release of excess water from River Niger and Benue. This year, more than 2,800 people were affected as their houses and farms were destroyed. Those who refused to vacate the area became victims of the flood as they travel in poorly made local canoes constructed orally, transporting goods.
For free, the canoe is being operated by individuals. Like I said before, the machine, they do take a machine with the Huna, 2,500. A single passenger, that's 1,500. That's how they charge.
At the distribution of relief materials, the managing director, Hyperdeck, said the federal government has made efforts to relocate those living at the riverbank, but was unsuccessful. A bill is said will soon be presented to the National Assembly to criminalize those who refuse to move out of the danger zone.
We have received a report of between 5 to 7 people that have lost their life so far.
This year alone?
This year alone, yes. 5 to 7 people that have lost their life. From the need assessment we carried out before our intervention, we estimated the number of 1,200 households and about 2,800 people were affected, in particular local government alone. We have procured 1,300 mattresses, 500 bags of rice, 200 bags of bathing soap, 250 bags of washing soaps, and other detergents. We are going to use the senators from our zone, the House of Rep members from our zone, to help us pass a bill that will make people not to live along the riverine area for a certain distance of kilometers.
One of the victims who appreciated the Commission's gestures called on government to provide a permanent site for the victims so as to guard against future occurrences.
It's affecting our farms, affecting our house, affecting all the goods that we are having. So now we just need the assistance from the government. The government should be assisting us to be able to giving us what we are required, where we can settle down our families. The government to supply, to help us what we can eat and what we can use to farm.
Nearly 1,300 households were destroyed in the recent flood affecting 2,800 people.
Now, as tricycles continue to take local transportation in Kano, the popular taxi drivers are gradually moving out of the route. In this report, our correspondent Idris Jibrin examines how few remaining taxis are coping with passenger resistance within the metropolis.
Muhammad Aminu is a taxi driver in Kano who is now forced to clean it because there is no passenger for him to carry. He says the tricycle operation has completely taken over his business along all the major routes known to be used by taxis.
You see, tricycle has taken over all the major roads we follow. And these roads include BUK Road, Zoo Road, Zaria Road, Meduguri Road to bypass, and Rijiyar Lemu are the major roads we follow.
Few years back, taxis are known to be the popular and most reliable means of transportation within the metropolitan city of Kano. But with the advent of tricycle, popularly known as Adaidaita Sahu in Kano, this means of transportation is rarely seen on major roads of the states.
We are indeed the backward. Now you see, this taxi is mine, but there are no passengers. Even this cleaning you see me doing is because I have no choice. I could not go out because even if I did, there are no passengers.
According to tricycle riders, because of the affordability and reliability of their business, they have left taxis with options to convert to tricycle or move out of business, even though there are risks associated with the tricycle operation.
Tricycle took over taxi because the passengers prefer to use it. It is the only means of transportation since the ban of motorcycle that can take you to any part of Kano State, no matter how narrow the area may be.
Although taxis still exist in some parts of Kano metropolis, but where it's known to be their major bus stop, are taken over by tricycle, the number of which keeps increasing virtually on daily basis. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Away from Nigeria, as protests enter their 12th day over the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini Iranians riot police and security forces clashed with demonstrators in dozens of cities on Tuesday. In a strong show of resistance and rage, the massive anti-hijab protest in Iran has been one of the strongest protests against the ruling government in recent times, and women have stood at the forefront. Despite a growing death toll and a fierce crackdown by security forces using tear gas, clubs, and in some cases live ammunition, videos posted on social media showed that protesters calling for the fall of the clerical establishment while clashing with security forces in the cities of Karaj, Yazdi, and many other Iranian cities. The protests erupted in Iran after the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini, who died after being in detention by morality police enforcing strict hijab rules on September 17. 10 days after her death, and the protests have now spread across at least 46 Iranian cities, towns, and villages. And in sports news, now Algeria defeated Super Eagles side 2-1 in a friendly game on Tuesday in Oran. Nigeria were without key players, including Napoli forward Victor Osimhen, defender William Troost Ekong, among others, for the clash in the North African nation. But Jose Peseiro's men took the lead just 8 minutes into the game when Terry Murphy struck for Nigeria. That was his first goal for the country in 5 games. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.